Damon Park's black car pulled up to his Boston mansion at 3 in the afternoon, 2 hours earlier than usual. His driver opened the door, and Damon stepped onto the stone driveway, loosening his tie. The meeting with the Seattle suppliers had ended quickly, which meant he could actually see his son awake for once. Inside, he expected silence, the usual emptiness that filled his home ever since Hyejin left. Instead, he heard grunting, counting, and his son's voice, higher and clearer than it had been in months. 28, 29, 30. Damon froze in the entrance hall. The sounds came from the living room. He walked slowly, quietly, toward the doorway and stopped completely. His 8-year-old son, Sung-ho, was on the floor doing push-ups, real push-ups, not the weak half-attempts he usually managed. Standing over him was a woman Damon had never seen before. She was tall, with rich, dark skin that seemed to glow in the afternoon light streaming through the windows. Her hair was wrapped in a colorful cloth, and her arms were lean with muscle. She wore simple clothes, jeans and a fitted shirt, but she stood like a soldier. "Good little warrior. Now rest," the woman said, her accent thick but her voice warm. Sung-ho collapsed onto the carpet, breathing hard but smiling. Actually smiling. Daemin's chest tightened. He hadn't seen his son smile in 2 years, not since his mother walked out. "Who are you?" Daemin's voice came out harder than he intended. The woman turned, and their eyes met. Hers were deep brown, fearless, meeting his stare without flinching. Most people looked away when Damon Park looked at them. Everyone knew who he was, what he controlled in this city. But this woman just lifted her chin slightly. "I am Ife. The agency sent me. I am your new housekeeper." "Daddy!" Sung-ho scrambled to his feet, running over. His cheeks were flushed, his eyes bright. "Ife is teaching me to be strong. Look." He dropped down and did 5 more push-ups, wobbly but determined. Daemin's throat felt tight. The agency was supposed to send Mrs. Chen, an older woman. Mrs. Chen's daughter had a baby. She could not come. They sent me instead. Ife's English was careful, each word chosen with thought. "The agency told me you needed someone to cook, clean, and watch the boy after school. I can do all these things. You were teaching my son to fight. I was teaching your son to be strong. There is a difference." Ife crossed her arms. "He is a good boy, but he is sad. Sad boys need to feel powerful in their bodies. It helps the heart." Something about the way she said it, simple and true, made Daemin's anger fade. He looked at Sung-ho, still smiling, standing straighter than usual. "Where are you from?" "Rwanda. I came to America 6 months ago." "And you know how to fight?" For the first time, something flickered in her eyes. Old pain, maybe. "Everyone in my country learned to survive. I was a boxing coach before I came here. I trained boys and girls. I am very good at my job." Daemin should send her away. His world was dangerous, and having someone this noticeable in his house could cause problems. But Sung-ho was tugging on his sleeve, looking up with hope Daemin hadn't seen in forever. "Please, Daddy. Ife is nice, and she makes good food. She made me try vegetables and they didn't taste bad." Despite everything, Daemin almost smiled. "You ate vegetables." She said warriors need fuel, and she showed me a picture of this fighter from her country who eats lots of green things, and he looks so strong. Daemin looked back at Ife. She stood quietly, waiting for his decision, not begging or nervous, just waiting. "Fine, you can stay. But there are rules in this house." "I follow rules," Ife said simply. That evening, after Sung-ho went to bed, Daemin sat in his office going through papers. He heard movement in the kitchen below. It was past 10. He went downstairs and found Ife washing dishes by hand, even though they had a dishwasher. "Why are you still awake?" She didn't startle, just looked over her shoulder. "I like to clean the kitchen at night. It is peaceful." "You can use the machine." "I know. But my hands like to be busy when I think." Min leaned against the doorframe. "What do you think about?" "Home. Family. The life I left behind." She dried a plate slowly. "About whether I made the right choice to come here." "Did you?" She was quiet for a moment. "I do not know yet. But your son is sweet. That is a good sign. His mother left us. She took a lot of money and ran off with someone else, a business rival of mine. Sung-ho stopped talking much after that, stopped playing. The school said he was getting picked on because he was too quiet, too weak. I've turned off the water and faced him fully. In the dim kitchen light, she looked both fierce and gentle. Children are like plants. They grow toward sunlight. His mother leaving took away his son. We must help him find new light. By teaching him to fight? By teaching him he is not powerless, that his body can be strong even when his heart hurts. It is what saved me after." She stopped, pressing her lips together. "After what?" She shook her head. "That is a story for another time. If I am still here." "You'll be here," Min said, surprising himself. "Sung-ho likes you. That's rare." Something passed between them then, standing in the quiet kitchen. A connection neither of them expected. If looked away first, picking up another dish. "You should sleep, Mr. Park. Tomorrow I will make breakfast early, and Sung-ho and I will train before school." "Call me Min." She paused, then nodded once. "Min." The way she said his name, with her accent making it sound both foreign and familiar, did something strange to his chest. He left before he could think about it too much. Over the next week, Min found himself coming home earlier and earlier. He told himself it was to spend time with Sung-ho, but he knew that was only half true. He wanted to watch Ife work with his son. Wanted to see the way she moved, graceful and powerful, as she demonstrated punches and blocks. Wanted to hear her laugh when Sung-ho got something right. "Again," she would say, patient but firm. "Warriors do not give up after one try." And Sung-ho would try again and again until he got it right. Then Ife would praise him, her whole face lighting up with pride. One afternoon, Min's second-in-command, Kyung-sam, came to the house for a meeting. As they walked to the office, Kyung-sam glanced toward the living room, where Ife was helping Sung-ho with homework. "New housekeeper?" Kyung-sam asked. "Yes." "She's beautiful." Min's jaw tightened. "She's here for Sung-ho." Kyung-sam raised an eyebrow, but said nothing else. That night, after another late kitchen encounter, where they talked for an hour about nothing important, Min lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. He was Min Park. He controlled half the underground operations in Boston. People feared him, respected him. He had built an empire from nothing after coming to America as a teenager. And somehow, a woman from Rwanda, who had been in his house for 1 week, had gotten under his skin. He heard footsteps in the hallway and knew without checking that it was Ife, probably going to check on Sung-ho one last time before she went to her room. She did that every night, made sure his blankets were right, that his water glass was full. Min got up and opened his door quietly. Ife was coming out of Sung-ho's room, and she nearly walked into him. "Oh," she breathed, stepping back. They were close in the dim hallway, close enough that Min could smell whatever soap she used, something clean and simple. close enough to see the pulse beating in her throat. "He talks in his sleep now," Ife whispered. "Happy sounds. Not nightmares anymore." "You did that. We did that. A child needs a father who comes home. Who cares? You are a good father, Dae-min." No one had said anything like that to him in years. Hye-jin had only complained that he worked too much, cared too much about business, wasn't around enough. But this woman who barely knew him saw something different. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for caring about him. It is easy to care about Sung-ho. He has a good heart. And me?" The words came out before Dae-min could stop them. "Is it easy to care about me?" Ife's eyes widened slightly. The air between them felt electric, charged with something dangerous and thrilling. She opened her mouth to answer, but then a door opened downstairs. One of his guards doing rounds. The spell broke. Eve stepped back. "Good night, Dae-min," she whispered, and disappeared into her room. Dae-min stood in the hallway for a long moment, his heart beating harder than it should. This was trouble. This feeling growing in his chest was the kind of trouble that could destroy everything. But when he finally went back to bed, he couldn't stop thinking about the way she had looked at him in that moment before the interruption. Like maybe, just maybe, she felt it too. 3 weeks after Ife arrived, Sung-ho won his first playground fight. Not because he started it, but because he finished it. A bigger boy had pushed him, and instead of crying or running away, Sung-ho had stood his ground, used the stance Ife taught him, and pushed back. The school called, worried. Dae-min drove over immediately, his mind racing with concern. But when he got there and heard the story from the principal, saw Sung-ho sitting straight-backed and proud despite the scolding, something shifted in his chest. "I didn't start it," Sung-ho said firmly. "Ife says warriors only fight to protect themselves or others. That boy was bullying someone smaller. I told him to stop. He pushed me. So I pushed back." The principal looked between Dae-min and his son, clearly unsure how to handle this. "We don't encourage violence, Mr. Park. And I don't encourage my son being a victim," Dae-min replied coolly. "If he defended himself appropriately, then he did the right thing. Is the other boy hurt?" "Just his pride, I think." "Then we're done here." Dae-min stood, and Sung-ho followed. In the car, Sung-ho was quiet for a while, then said softly, "Are you mad?" "No, I'm proud. But Sung-ho, listen carefully. Being strong doesn't mean looking for fights. It means being brave enough to stand up when necessary, and wise enough to walk away when possible. Do you understand?" "That's what Ive says too. She says real strength is in here." Sung-ho tapped his chest. "Not just muscles." When they got home, Ive was cooking dinner. The kitchen smelled like spices Dae-min couldn't name, rich and warm. She looked up when they entered, immediately reading Sung-ho's face. "What happened?" Sung-ho told her the whole story, and Dae-min watched her expressions change. Concern, then understanding, then something like pride. "You did well, little warrior. But remember what I taught you about choosing your battles. Not every fight is worth your energy." "I know. But he was picking on someone smaller. Someone who couldn't fight back." Ifa knelt down to his level, putting her hands on his shoulders. "Then you did exactly right. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is what warriors do." She pulled him into a hug, and over Sung-ho's shoulder, her eyes met Dae-min's. Something passed between them, warm and electric. Then Sung-ho pulled away, heading upstairs to change, leaving them alone. "You're teaching him well," Dae-min said. "He learns because he wants to. That is the best kind of student." Ife went back to the stove, stirring something in a large pot. Will you eat with us tonight? Or do you have business? I'll eat here. She smiled, small but genuine, and Dae-min felt that smile like a physical touch. Dinner became a regular thing after that. The three of them at the table, Sung-ho chattering about school, Ife listening and asking questions, Dae-min watching them both and feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Like a family. But families were complicated, and Dae-min's world even more so. Kyung-sam started making comments. The men are talking, boss. About your housekeeper. About how much time you spend at home now. Let them talk. Some are saying she's too pretty to be just a housekeeper. That maybe she's something more. Dae-min's voice went cold. Anyone who disrespects her disrespects me. Make that clear. Kyung-sam nodded slowly. You're serious about her. I'm serious about my son being happy. She makes him happy. And you? Does she make you happy? Dae-min didn't answer, but his silence said everything. That night, a storm rolled through Boston. Thunder shook the windows, and rain hammered the roof. Dae-min was in his office when he heard footsteps outside. He opened the door to find Ife in the hallway, wearing simple sleep clothes, her hair down for the first time since she'd arrived. It was longer than he'd realized, falling in thick waves past her shoulders. I was checking on Sung-ho. The thunder scared him when he was younger. I thought maybe. He's fine. He's been sleeping through storms since he was 6. They stood there in the dim hallway, the storm raging outside, and suddenly the air between them felt charged, like the lightning flashing beyond the windows. Can't sleep? Dae-min asked. The storm reminds me of home, of things I try not to remember. She wrapped her arms around herself. In Rwanda, storms came before trouble, before violence. My body still remembers that fear. What happened there? Ife was quiet for a long moment, then started walking toward the stairs. Come. If you want to know, I will tell you. But not in this dark hallway. Dae-min followed her downstairs to the kitchen. She put water on for tea, moving through his space like she belonged there. When they sat at the table with steaming cups between them, she finally spoke. I was 19 when the violence came to my village. Militia groups, fighting over land and power. They killed my parents, my 2 brothers. I survived because I was at the training gym in the next town, teaching a class. Her voice was steady, but Dae-min saw her hands shake slightly around the cup. When I came home, there was nothing left, just blood and bodies and silence. I'm sorry. I went to the city after that, worked in a gym, trained fighters, tried to build a new life. But the ghosts followed me. Every loud noise, every sudden movement, I was back in that moment of finding my family gone. So I saved money, got papers, came to America. Thought maybe here I could leave the past behind. Can you? She looked at him then, really looked at him. I do not know, but your son helps. He reminds me that life is not just about surviving, that there is still goodness, still light. And you? She stopped, looking away. And me what? You make me feel safe. That is a strange thing to say about a man like you. I know. I am not stupid. I know what you do, what you control. The guards, the late meetings, the way people look at you with fear. But with me, you are just a father who loves his son. Just a man who listens when I talk. That is rare. Dae-min reached across the table, covering her hand with his. She didn't pull away. Her skin was warm, slightly rough from work, and touching her felt like completing a circuit. Energy flowed between them, undeniable. You're not what I expected, he said quietly. When the agency said they were sending someone, I thought I was getting help with housework. Instead, I got someone who sees me. Really sees me. Not the boss, not the criminal, not the money. Just me. Is that what you want? To be seen? I didn't think so. But yes. By you, yes. The thunder cracked again, closer this time, and Ife jumped slightly. Without thinking, Day-Min stood and came around the table. She stood too, and suddenly they were inches apart, breathing the same air. I should go to bed, Ife whispered, but she didn't move. You should, Day-Min agreed, but he didn't step back. This is not wise. You are my employer. I am just... Don't say you're just anything. You're the strongest person I've ever met. You survived horrors I can't imagine. You took my broken son and made him whole. You walk into a house full of criminals without fear. You're not just anything, Ife. You're extraordinary. Her breath caught. They were so close now that Day-Min could see the flecks of gold in her brown eyes, could count each individual eyelash. Day-Min, she breathed, and his name on her lips undid something in him. He cupped her face with one hand, thumb brushing her cheek. Tell me to stop. I cannot. He kissed her then, soft at first, testing. She made a small sound and leaned into him, her hands coming up to grip his shirt. The kiss deepened, became something hungry and desperate. All the weeks of longing, of stolen glances and almost touches, poured into this moment. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Ife pressed her forehead to his chest. This is dangerous. I know. Your world, my past, the difference between us. I don't care. She pulled back to look at him. You should. People will talk. Your men already whisper. And I am not like the women you usually. Exactly. You're nothing like anyone I've ever known. That's the point. He tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. I haven't felt alive in years. Not since before Hyejin left. Maybe not even then. But you make me feel everything. I feel it too, she admitted softly. From that first day, when you stood in the doorway watching me with Sung-ho, I felt something change. Like the universe shifted just slightly. I tried to ignore it, told myself I was being foolish. But every day it grew stronger. They stood there, holding each other as the storm raged outside. Two people from completely different worlds finding something unexpected, precious in each other's arms. What do we do? Ife asked. We see where this goes. Carefully, quietly. Sung-ho can't know yet, and my people definitely can't know. But I'm not letting you go. She nodded against his chest. I'm afraid. Of me? Of how much I want this. Want you. I came to America to be safe, to be alone, to avoid more pain. But here you are, pulling me into something that could destroy us both. Day-Min tilted her chin up. Or it could save us both. He kissed her again, slower this time, savoring. When he walked her to her room, they stood at her door for 10 more stolen minutes, unable to stop touching, kissing, memorizing each other. Tomorrow, she whispered. Tomorrow. And every tomorrow. After that. She slipped inside, and Day-Min went back to his own room feeling like a teenager again, like the whole world had suddenly gone from gray to color. In the following days, they built a secret language of glances and small touches, a brush of hands when she passed him coffee, his fingers lingering on her shoulder when he said goodnight, moments stolen in hallways when Sung-ho wasn't looking. At night, after his son slept, they met in the kitchen or the study, talking for hours, learning each other. Sometimes they just sat in comfortable silence. Sometimes they kissed until they were both dizzy with want. Tell me something true, Ive said one night, curled against him on the study couch. I'm falling in love with you." She looked up at him, eyes wide. "That is very true. Your turn." "I'm already in love with you. I think I was from that first moment. You looked so shocked seeing me with Sung-ho, so protective and fierce and vulnerable all at once. I thought, this is a man who loves deeply, and I wanted to be loved like that." Dae-min kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips. "You are. You will be. For as long as you'll have me." But in the back of his mind, a voice whispered warnings. His world was dangerous. His ex-wife was connected to his enemies, and loving someone made them a target. He pushed the thoughts away and held Ive tighter, pretending for one more perfect moment that love could conquer everything. Sung-ho turned 9 on a Tuesday in October. Ive spent the whole day before baking a cake from scratch, using a recipe from her grandmother. Dae-min came home early with presents, and they surprised the boy with a party in the backyard, just the three of them. "Make a wish, little warrior," Ive said, as Sung-ho leaned toward the candles. The boy looked between them, his eyes bright with happiness, and Dae-min's heart clenched. This, right here, was everything he'd ever wanted. A family, real and whole, and filled with love. After Sung-ho went to bed, clutching his new soccer ball and talking excitedly about trying out for the school team, Dae-min found Ive cleaning up the kitchen. He came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist, pressing a kiss to her neck. "We did good today," he murmured against her skin. She leaned back into him. "He is so happy. Sometimes I look at him and cannot believe he is the same quiet, sad boy I met 3 months ago." "You did that. We did that." She turned in his arms. "Dae-min, I need to tell you something." His stomach tightened at her serious tone. "What?" "I love him. Sung-ho. I know he is not my son, that I have only been here a short time, but I love him like he is mine. Is that wrong?" Relief flooded through him. "No. It's perfect. He loves you too. He told me last week that he wishes you were his real mom." Tears filled Ive's eyes. "He said that?" "He said you're the best thing that ever happened to us. And he's right." She kissed him then, deep and sweet, and Dae-min lifted her onto the counter, stepping between her legs, never breaking the kiss. Her hands were in his hair, his were on her waist, sliding under her shirt to feel the warm skin beneath. "Dae-min," she breathed against his lips. Someone could see. "Everyone's gone for the night. It's just us." She pulled him closer, wrapping her legs around his waist, and for a perfect moment, there was nothing but this. Her mouth on his, her body against his, the taste of cake, frosting, and desire between them. But then headlights flashed through the window. A car door slammed. Voices in the driveway. They broke apart, breathing hard. Ive slid off the counter, straightening her clothes, her lips swollen and her eyes dark with want. Dae-min adjusted himself, trying to calm down, cursing whoever had just arrived. Kyung-sam entered through the side door, then stopped short, looking between them. His face showed nothing, but Dae-min knew his second-in-command missed nothing. "Boss, sorry to interrupt. We have a situation." Dae-min's mind snapped from desire to business. "What kind?" "The kind we need to discuss in private." Dae-min looked at Ive. She nodded, understanding, and quietly left the room. Only when her footsteps faded did Kyung-sam speak again. "Hyejin's new man, Director Choi, is making moves. He hit one of our shipments tonight. Took everything and left a message saying this is just the beginning." Anger burned through Dae-min. "Where?" "The warehouse near the harbor. 3 men injured, but they'll live. Choi wants a meeting. Says he has something you need to hear." "It's a trap," Maybe, but he mentioned Sung-ho by name, said something about family. Ice replaced the anger. He threatened my son. Not directly, but the implication was there. Da-min's hands curled into fists. Set up the meeting. Public place, lots of witnesses. And double the security here. No one gets near this house, especially not near Sung-ho or Ife. Kyung-sam nodded, then hesitated. Boss, about Ife. Don't. The men are talking more. They see how you are together. Some think it's a weakness, this attachment to her. And if Choi knows about Sung-ho, he might know about her too. Then make sure she's protected, always. I want someone watching her every time she leaves this house. Already arranged. After Kyung-sam left, Tae-min stood in the empty kitchen, fear coiling in his gut. This was what he'd been afraid of. His world touching the people he loved, making them targets. He found Ife in the home gym, pounding a heavy bag with wrapped fists, working out her own stress. He watched her for a moment, seeing the power and grace in every movement, remembering that she was a survivor too, not helpless, not weak. How bad? She asked without stopping. Bad enough. My ex-wife's new man is making problems. He knows about Sung-ho. Now she stopped, turning to face him. Sweat gleamed on her skin. Will he try to hurt him? Not if I kill him first. She walked over, cupping his face with her wrapped hands. Do not let anger make you stupid. That is what men like him want. They push you until you make mistakes. He threatened my son, and you will protect him, but smart, not reckless. She kissed him softly. I'm not afraid of your world, Daemin. I survived worse. We will survive this too. Her strength steadied him. He pulled her close, not caring that she was sweaty, just needing to hold her. I can't lose you. Either of you. You won't. I am not easy to kill, and Sung-ho has both of us watching over him. We are a team now. That night, Dae-min couldn't sleep. He walked the house, checking locks, looking in on Sung-ho, making sure everything was secure. Around 2 a.m, he heard his door open quietly. Aof slipped inside, wearing a long sleep shirt, her hair loose. You need to rest, she whispered. I can't. She took his hand and led him to the bed, pulling him down beside her. Then let me help. She kissed him, slow and deep, and Dae-min felt some of the tension ease from his body. Her hands moved over him, gentle but sure, and he responded by pulling her closer, rolling so she was beneath him. Are you sure? He asked against her lips. They'd kissed, touched, but hadn't crossed this final line yet. I have been sure since the night in the kitchen during the storm. I want this. Want you. All of you. He took his time, learning every inch of her skin, every sound she made, every way to make her gasp his name. She matched him, touch for touch, kiss for kiss, showing him without words that she was his equal in this too, strong and passionate and completely present. When they finally came together, it felt like everything had been leading to this moment, like 2 broken pieces finding a way to fit perfectly. Afterward, they lay tangled together, breathing hard, hearts racing in sync. I love you, Dae-min said into the darkness, completely, terrifyingly. I love you. I love you too. Whatever comes, we face it together. They fell asleep like that, wrapped around each other, and for those few hours, everything felt possible. Morning came too soon. Dae-min woke to find Ife already gone, probably back to her room before Sung-ho woke. The day moved forward with its normal routine, but everything felt different now. They'd crossed the line, claimed each other completely, and there was no going back. The meeting with Choi was set for that evening at a restaurant downtown. Dae-min dressed carefully, strapping a knife to his ankle, a gun to his side, hidden under his suit jacket. Kyung-sam and 4 other men would go with him. Before he left, he pulled Sung-ho aside. "I need you to listen carefully. While I'm gone, you stay with Ife. You don't leave the house. You don't answer the door for anyone except Kyung-sam or me. Understand?" Sung-ho's eyes went serious. "Is something wrong?" "Just business. But I need to know you'll be safe." "I'll protect Ife," Sung-ho said solemnly, "like she taught me." Despite everything, Dae-min smiled. "I know you will." He found Ife in the kitchen. She was chopping vegetables, but her movements were precise, controlled, and Dae-min recognized it as the focus she used before training. She was preparing herself mentally. "The guards are outside. Don't let anyone in." "I know. I mean it, Ife. Not the mailman, not a delivery, not anyone." She set down the knife and came to him. "I will keep us safe. You focus on coming home to us. Both of you." He kissed her, hard and quick. "I will. I promise." At the restaurant, Choi was already waiting. He was older than Dae-min, maybe 45, with salt and pepper hair and expensive clothes. Hye-jin sat beside him, looking beautiful and cold in a designer dress. Dae-min's jaw tightened seeing his ex-wife, but he kept his face neutral as he sat down across from them. "Dae-min," Choi said smoothly, "thank you for meeting. Say what you have to say. Direct. I like that. Here's the situation. You control territory I want. Rather than waste time fighting, I'm offering a merger. We combine operations, split profits, and everyone wins. And if I refuse?" Choi smiled, not pleasantly. "Then things get messy. Shipments disappear. Warehouses burn. People get hurt." He paused. "Including that sweet boy of yours. What's his name? Sung-ho?" Dae-min's hand moved toward his gun, but Kyung-sam's warning touch on his arm stopped him. "Careful," Choi continued. "We're in public. Lots of witnesses. Besides, you don't want to make this worse for your family. I hear you have a new woman, too. African, right? Quite beautiful from what my people tell me. It would be a shame if something happened to her." Every muscle in Dae-min's body went rigid. "You touch either of them, and I'll kill you with my bare hands. There's that famous temper. Hye-jin warned me about it." Choi leaned back, casual. "Here's what's going to happen. You have 1 week to decide. Merge with me, or watch everything you love burn. Your choice." Hye-jin spoke for the first time, her voice brittle. "This is your fault, Dae-min. You were never home, always working, always choosing business over me. Now you replace me with some maid? Some nobody from nowhere? She's worth 10 of you," Dae-min said coldly. "And she actually cares about our son, which is more than you ever did." Hye-jin's face twisted with rage. "That boy was a mistake, a burden. I'm glad I left." Dae-min stood, done with this conversation. "You have my answer. I don't negotiate with threats. Come after me if you want, but leave my family alone. You touch them, and there won't be a hole deep enough for you to hide in." Outside, Kyung-sam grabbed his arm. "Boss, we need a plan. Choi's serious. He has the resources to make good on his threats. Then we move first. Call everyone. I want full details on Choi's operations, his people, his weaknesses. We're not waiting for him to strike." Back home, Dae-min found Ife and Sung-ho in the living room, the boy doing homework while Ife read beside him. The scene was so normal, so peaceful, it made his chest ache. Sung-ho looked up. "Did your meeting go okay?" "It was fine. Just business. But later, when Sung-ho was asleep, he told Ive everything. She listened quietly, her face growing more serious. So we are in danger. I won't let him hurt you. I know. But Dae-min, maybe it is time for me to leave. If I am not here, they cannot use me against you. No. His voice was sharp. Don't even think that. I'm being practical. And I'm being honest. Losing you would destroy me more than anything Choi could do. You stay. We fight this together. She searched his face, then nodded slowly. Together. But I will not be helpless. I need a gun. You know how to shoot? I learned in Rwanda. After what happened to my family, I learned everything I could about protecting myself. I can shoot. I can fight. I can survive. Let me help protect us. Dae-min felt a surge of love for this woman who refused to be a victim, who stood strong even when facing danger. Okay. Tomorrow, I'll teach you about my security system, where the weapons are hidden, everything. But promise me, if something happens, you take Sung-ho and run. Don't try to be a hero. Only if you promise the same. Ive. No. We protect each other, or we don't have a deal. I will not lose another family to violence. Not without fighting. He pulled her into his arms, holding tight. How did I get so lucky finding you? Fate. Maybe. Or maybe we both needed someone to show us that life can still be good, even after terrible things. They stood there in the quiet house, holding each other against the storm they both knew was coming, stealing these moments of peace before the fight began. Dae-min spent the next 2 days preparing. He moved money, secured properties, made sure Sung-ho's school had extra security without telling his son why. If learned the security system, practiced at the shooting range with Kyung-sam, and remained calm in a way that both impressed and worried him. Then on Friday evening, everything changed. Dae-min came home to find an extra car in the driveway. Expensive. Foreign. His stomach dropped as he recognized it. Before he could even get inside, the front door opened, and Hye-jin stepped out, perfectly dressed, makeup flawless, crying delicately. Dae-min, thank God you're home. He pushed past her. What are you doing here? Where's Sung-ho? In his room with that woman. Hye-jin followed him inside. I came to talk to you, to apologize. I made a terrible mistake. In the living room, Ive stood with her arms crossed, her face carefully neutral. Sung-ho sat on the couch, looking confused and upset. Daddy, Mom just showed up. She says she wants to come home. Dae-min's jaw clenched. Sung-ho, go to your room. But now. The boy left reluctantly, and Dae-min turned to Hye-jin. You have 5 minutes. Talk. Hye-jin's tears flowed prettier now, like she'd practiced. Choi isn't who I thought he was. He's cruel, controlling. He hurt me, Dae-min. She pulled down her sleeve, showing a bruise on her arm. Real or makeup, he couldn't tell. I was wrong to leave you, wrong to take Sung-ho away from his home. I want to fix this. I want our family back. You walked out, took millions of my money, moved in with my enemy, and now you want to come back? I was confused, angry. You worked all the time, never paid attention to me. I felt alone. But I realize now that you're still the best man I know. Still the father Sung-ho needs. Her eyes flicked to Ive. You can send her away. We can be a real family again. Ive's expression didn't change, but Dae-min saw her hands tighten into fists. I don't believe you, he said flatly. I know I hurt you. But think about Sung-ho. He deserves his mother. And you deserve a wife who understands your world, who comes from the same culture, not some random woman you barely know. If is not random, And she's been more of a mother to Sung-ho in 3 months than you were in 8 years. Hye-jin's mask slipped for just a second, showing real anger. Then it was back, fragile and pleading. Please, give me a chance to make this right. Let me stay, just for a few days. Let me prove I've changed. No. Think about Sung-ho. He needs his real mother. He needs people who actually love him. You need to leave. But Sung-ho had been listening from the stairs. Wait. Mom, do you really want to stay? Do you really miss us? Hye-jin turned to him, arms open. Of course, baby. I miss you so much. I think about you every day. Sung-ho looked at his father, confusion and hope warring on his young face. Dad? Dae-min felt trapped. He knew Hye-jin was lying, knew this was somehow connected to Choi's threats. But how could he refuse without explaining things his son shouldn't hear? She can stay in the guest house, he said finally. Not the main house. For 3 days. That's it. Hye-jin smiled, victorious. Thank you. You won't regret this. After she left for the guest house, Ive spoke for the first time. You are making a mistake. I know. But I can't break Sung-ho's heart by throwing his mother out. Not without proof of what she's really doing here. Then I will find proof. Ive's voice was hard. I will not let that woman destroy what we have built. She walked upstairs, and Dae-min wanted to follow, to explain, but Sung-ho needed him too. The boy had questions, confusion, hope that his family might be whole again. That night, Dae-min tried to go to Ive's room, but her door was locked. He knocked softly. Ive, please. Let me in. Not tonight. Tonight I need to think. His chest hurt. I love you. That hasn't changed. Silence, then softly. I know. But love is not always enough, is it? The next morning, Hye-jin was in the kitchen making breakfast when Dae-min came down. She wore one of her old dresses, the ones she knew he used to like, and his favorite perfume filled the air. I made your usual, she said brightly. Coffee, eggs, toast, with that raspberry jam you love. Ive came in, assessed the situation, and calmly started making Sung-ho's breakfast instead. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut. Hye-jin watched Ive move around the kitchen. You know, I've been thinking. If you want to take a few days off, I can handle things here. You must be tired from working so much. I'm not tired, Ive said evenly. Still, it must be hard being so far from home. Don't you miss Africa? Maybe you should visit your family. My family is dead. The bluntness of it made even Hye-jin pause, but only for a moment. I'm sorry, but surely you have friends there, a life to get back to? My life is here now, as a maid, as a woman who cares for a child who needed caring, something you did not do. Hye-jin's smile turned cold. Careful. You forget your place. I know exactly what my place is. Do you? Dae-min stepped between them. Enough. Hye-jin, eat your breakfast somewhere else. Eve, can we talk? In his office, with the door closed, he tried to take her hands, but she stepped back. Don't. Not while she is here. It will only make things harder. Make what harder? Choosing. Because that is what you will have to do, Dae-min. Choose between me and the mother of your child, between what your heart wants and what your son needs. I've already chosen. I choose you. Have you? Because from where I stand, you let her back into this house, into our space. You let her cook for you, talk to you, pretend like the past 2 years never happened. For Sung-ho, only for him. I understand that. I do. But it does not hurt any less watching you give her chances you should not give. Ife's voice cracked slightly. I came from nothing, Daemin. I have nothing to offer except my heart and my strength. She has history with you, a child with you, the same culture. How do I compete with that? You don't have to compete. There's no contest. She's Sung-ho's mother, nothing more. You're the woman I love. Then tell her that. Make it clear. Because right now, she thinks she can win you back, and Sung-ho thinks maybe his family can be whole again. And I am the outsider who does not belong. Before Daemin could respond, Kyung-sam knocked urgently. Boss, we have a problem. The problem was another attack, this time on one of Daemin's legitimate businesses, a restaurant in the city. Burned to the ground in the middle of the night. No one hurt, but the message was clear. Choi was escalating. Daemin had to leave immediately. He kissed Ife quickly. We'll finish this tonight. I promise. But that night, when he finally got home exhausted and covered in smoke smell, he found Hye-jin had cooked a full dinner. Sung-ho sat at the table laughing at something she said, and for a moment, Daemin saw what his son wanted. A complete family. Mother, father, child. If was nowhere to be seen. He found her later in the gym, punching the bag so hard her knuckles were bleeding through the wraps. She didn't stop when he entered. Come here, he said gently. No, I need to hit something. Then hit me, yell at me, whatever you need. But don't shut me out. She finally stopped, breathing hard, sweat and tears mixing on her face. She is winning. She's not. Yes, she is. I see how Sung-ho looks at her, how he smiles. I see him wanting what I cannot give him, his real mother, his real family. Daemin crossed to her, taking her wrapped hands in his. You are his real family. Blood doesn't make family. Love does. And he loves you. But he loves her too. She gave birth to him. That bond, I cannot compete with it. So don't. Be yourself. Be the woman who made him strong, who makes him laugh, who actually shows up every day. She'll show her true colors soon enough. Ife looked up at him, vulnerable in a way she rarely was. What if you change your mind? What if you decide she is the better choice? Never. I told you, I've already chosen. I choose you every day. I'll keep choosing you. He kissed her then, desperate to make her believe, to erase the doubt he saw in her eyes. She kissed back just as desperately, and they ended up against the wall, all the frustration and fear and love pouring into each touch. Later, tangled together on the gym mat, Ife whispered, 3 days. You said 3 days. 2 more, then she leaves. And if Sung-ho begs her to stay, then I explain why she can't, as much as I can without scaring him. But Daemin underestimated Hye-jin's determination. Over the next 2 days, she was perfect. Sweet to Sung-ho, respectful to Daemin, and subtly cruel to Ife in ways only another woman would notice. Little comments about her appearance, her accent, her place in the household. Always when Daemin wasn't listening. On the 3rd morning, Daemin found Ife in the kitchen before dawn, staring at nothing. What's wrong? I heard her last night, on the phone with someone. She was talking about you, about access to your files, about how much longer until she has what she needs. Did she see you? No. I was careful. But Daemin, she is not here because she wants you back. She is here as a spy, for Choi. Everything clicked into place. The timing of her return, right after Choi's ultimatum, the insistence on staying, the questions about his business. I need proof before I can throw her out. Sung-ho won't understand otherwise. Then we get proof, today. They made a plan. That afternoon, while Hye-jin was with Sung-ho, Ifo would search the guest house. Simple, direct, and hopefully successful. But plans never survive contact with the enemy. When Ifo slipped into the guest house, she found evidence immediately. Photos of documents from Dae-min's office, files copied onto a thumb drive, notes about security and schedules. She was gathering everything when she heard footsteps. Hye-jin stood in the doorway, no longer pretending to be sweet and broken. Her face was cold, calculating. I knew you'd come snooping eventually. You're predictable. I've straightened, keeping her body between Hye-jin and the door. This ends now. I am taking this evidence to Dae-min. You really think he'll believe you over me? I'm the mother of his child. You're just the help he happens to be sleeping with. I am the woman he loves. Love. Hye-jin laughed harshly. Love doesn't pay the bills, doesn't keep you safe. I learned that with Dae-min. He chose his work over me every single time. He'll do the same to you. No, because I don't ask him to choose. I accept him as he is. How noble. Too bad you won't be around much longer to accept anything. Hye-jin pulled out her phone, making a call. She's here. Yes, now. The guest house. Ive's stomach dropped as she understood. This was a trap. She'd walked right into it. Outside, she heard cars arriving. Multiple cars. Choi's men. She looked at Hye-jin, then at the evidence in her hands. She could fight, probably take Hye-jin down easily. But the men outside were armed and many. Or she could run, get to the main house, warn Dae-min. She chose to run. Ive burst out the back door of the guest house, sprinting across the yard toward the main house. Behind her, men shouted. Ahead, she saw Sung-ho's face in the window, eyes wide with confusion. She hit the back door, slamming it behind her and engaging the locks. Dae-min! Sung-ho! Get away from the windows! Dae-min came running from his office, gun already in hand. What's happening? Trap. Hye-jin works for Choi. His men are outside. She called them when I found proof. Dae-min's face went hard as stone. He grabbed his phone, calling Kyung-sam. We're under attack. Get everyone here now. The front windows shattered as bullets sprayed the house. Dae-min grabbed Sung-ho, pulling him down. I've had her own gun out, the one Dae-min gave her days ago. Basement, Dae-min ordered. Safe room, both of you. Now. I am not leaving you, Ifo said. Ive, please. Take my son somewhere safe. That's all I need from you right now. She wanted to argue, but Sung-ho was crying, terrified. She nodded once, grabbed the boy, and ran for the basement as more gunfire erupted above them. In the safe room, a reinforced space Dae-min had built years ago, Ive held Sung-ho close while he shook. Is Dad going to die? He whispered. No. Your father is very strong, and help is coming. Is this because of Mom? Ifo hesitated, then decided he deserved truth. Yes. She did not come back because she loves you. She came back to hurt your father. Sung-ho cried harder. Why? Why would she do that? Because some people choose power over love, but we will not. We fight for the people we love. Above them, the battle raged. Ive could hear gunfire, shouting, breaking glass. Every sound made her want to run back up, to fight beside Dae-min, but Sung-ho needed her here. After what felt like hours but was probably 20 minutes, the sounds stopped. Footsteps on the stairs. Ifo raised her gun, putting herself between Sung-ho and the door. Ife, it's me. It's safe. Dae-min's voice. She lowered the gun, unlocking the door. He stood there, blood on his shirt, but alive. Behind him, Kyung-sam and their men secured the house. Choi's men are dead or captured. Hye-jin tried to run. Kyung-sam stopped her. Sung-ho ran to his father, and Dai Min held him tight. Over his son's head, his eyes met Ife's, and she saw everything in that look. Relief, love, gratitude. They'd survived. Together. But as sirens approached in the distance, Ife knew this was only the beginning. Choi was still out there, still dangerous. And now he knew exactly how much Dae Min had to lose. Hope you're enjoying this story so far. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an upload. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from, and hit that like button if you want to see what happens next. The police took 3 hours to process the scene. Bodies were removed, statements given, and through it all, Dae Min kept Sung-ho close, while Ife dealt with her own shock. She'd killed a man. One of Choi's soldiers had gotten past Dae Min's men and made it to the basement stairs. Ife had fired without hesitation, protecting Sung-ho. The man went down and didn't get up. Her hands shook as she gave her statement, remembering the weight of the gun, the recoil, the sound. The detective looked at her with a mix of suspicion and respect. You have a permit for that weapon? Yes. Dae Min got it from me legally 3 days ago. And you just happen to be a perfect shot under pressure? I trained in my country. I told you this already. The detective made notes, clearly not believing half of what she said. But the evidence was clear. Self-defense, protecting a child. Eventually, they let her go. Hyojin wasn't as lucky. Kyung Sam had found the evidence Ife gathered, plus recordings of her calls with Choi planning the attack. She was arrested for conspiracy, attempted murder, and a list of other charges. As the police led her away in handcuffs, she looked back at Dae Min with pure hatred. This isn't over. Choi will destroy you. Everything you love will burn. Dae Min didn't respond, just pulled Sung-ho closer. After everyone left, the house felt too big and too quiet. Workers were already boarding up the broken windows, cleaning blood from the floors. Dae Min arranged for them to stay at one of his safe houses while repairs were made. In the car, Sung-ho finally spoke. Mom really tried to hurt us? Yes. Why? Dae Min glanced at Ife in the passenger seat before answering. Because she cares more about money and power than about people. Than about you. I'm sorry, son. You deserved a better mother. I have Ife, Sung-ho said quietly from the back seat. She protected me. She didn't run away. Ife turned to look at him, tears in her eyes. I will always protect you, little warrior. Always. The safe house was smaller, cozier, with less technology and more warmth. It sat in the suburbs, looking like any normal family home. Neighbors wouldn't know a crime boss owned it. That first night, none of them could sleep. Dae Min sat in the living room with a drink he didn't touch. Ife made tea she didn't drink. And Sung-ho eventually fell asleep on the couch between them, worn out from fear and tears. I almost lost you both today, Dae Min said softly. When I heard gunfire near the basement, when I couldn't get to you, I thought, we are here. We are safe. Because you protected him. Because you're brave and strong and... His voice broke. I don't deserve you. Ife moved closer, taking his hand. We deserve each other. Two people who survived terrible things and found something good together. That is enough. Is it? After today, after you saw what my life really means, do you still want this? Do not insult me by asking that. I knew what your life was before today. I chose you anyway. One attack does not change my heart. Dae Min pulled her close, and they sat like that for a long time, watching Sung-ho sleep, both of them too shaken to move. Over the next week, the investigation continued. Police discovered that Choi had been planning this for months, using Hyejin as a spy from the beginning. Her tears, her apologies, her return, all carefully staged to get close to Dae-min again. "She never loved me," Dae-min said one night, reading the reports Kyung-sam brought. "Even when we first married, she was looking for money and status. I was just a means to an end." "Some people are like that," Ifei said, cooking dinner in the safe house kitchen. "They see others as tools, not people. But you are not like that. You love deeply. It is a strength, not a weakness. It almost got you killed. But it did not. We are still here." Sung-ho struggled the most. He had nightmares, waking up screaming about his mother and guns and blood. Ife would go to him, holding him until he calmed, singing soft songs in her language that he didn't understand, but found comforting anyway. "Why did Mom stop loving me?" he asked one night, tears streaming down his face. If chose her words carefully. "Your mother has a sickness inside her heart, not a sickness doctors can fix, but one that makes her unable to love the way she should. It is not your fault. You are a wonderful, brave, strong boy. Anyone would be lucky to love you." "Do you love me?" "With my whole heart, little warrior." Like a real mom, she cupped his face gently. "I may not have given birth to you, but you are my son in every way that matters. I love you like a real mom. I will always love you like that." He threw his arms around her, crying into her shoulder, and Ife held him tight, her own tears falling into his hair. Meanwhile, the hunt for Choi intensified. He'd disappeared after the failed attack, going underground with his remaining loyal men. But Dae-min had resources too. He called in favors, activated contacts, and slowly tightened the net. "He's still in the city," Kyung-sam reported. "Too proud to run far. He wants to finish this." "Good. So do I." But Ife grabbed Dae-min's arm before he could leave for another meeting. "Do not let revenge make you stupid. That is what he wants. You charge in angry, you make mistakes. I'm not being stupid. I'm being thorough. You are being a man whose family was attacked. I understand that anger. I felt it too when my family died. But Dae-min, we survived. We are together. Do not throw that away for pride." He pulled her close, breathing in her scent, letting her steady him. "What would I do without you?" "Probably something reckless and heroic and stupid. Good thing you have me to keep you smart." Despite the tension, they found moments of normalcy. Dinner together, helping Sung-ho with homework, movie nights where they all piled on the couch. The safe house became more than temporary shelter. It became home. One evening, Sung-ho asked, "Can we stay here, even after the other house is fixed?" "Why?" Dae-min asked. "Because here feels like a family. The big house always felt cold and empty. But here, with all of us close together, it feels right." Dae-min looked at Ife, who smiled softly. "He has a point. I'll think about it." But that night, lying in bed with Ifo beside him, Dae-min did think about it. About leaving behind the mansion with all its memories of Hyejin, of loneliness, of the life he'd built through crime. About starting fresh, somewhere normal, building something clean with the woman he loved and the son who deserved better. "I'm going to do it," he said into the darkness. "Do what?" "Leave the business, all of it. Kyung-sam can take over the operations. I'll keep the legitimate companies. We'll move somewhere new, start over." Ife turned to face him. "You would do that? For you? For Sung-ho?" "Yes. I've been thinking about it since before the attack. This life, it's no good for a family. I want better for us." "What about Choi?" "I'll deal with him first. Clean up this mess. Then we're done." She kissed him, soft and sweet. I don't need you to leave your work for me. I accept you as you are. I know, but I need to leave it for me, for the man I want to be, the father Sung-ho deserves, the partner you deserve. They made love then, slow and tender, a promise of the future they were building together. Afterward, wrapped in each other's arms, Ife whispered, I am afraid. Of what? That this happiness is too good, that something will come to take it away. In my life, whenever things got good, disaster followed. Not this time. I won't let anything take you from me, either of you. Whatever comes, we face it together. Together, she agreed, but he heard the doubt in her voice. 2 days later, doubt became reality. Kyung-sam burst into the safe house, face pale. Boss, we found Choi. Where? That's not the problem. The problem is what he has. He's threatening to release information about your operations to the FBI. Names, dates, evidence of every crime you've committed in the last 10 years, unless you give him control of everything. Dae-min's blood went cold. He's bluffing. I don't think so. He showed me samples, real documents, real evidence. If that goes public, you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. Ife appeared in the doorway. What does he want? Everything. The business, the money, the territory. And he wants Dae-min to disappear. Leave the city, leave the life, and never come back. That's exile, Dae-min said. He wants to take everything I've built, or he destroys you completely. Those are the options. Dae-min paced, mind racing. If Choi had real evidence, the FBI would move fast. He'd be arrested, tried, convicted. Sung-ho would grow up with a father in prison. Ife would be left alone, maybe even implicated if they dug deep enough. There has to be another way. There is, Kyung-sam said quietly. We could kill him. Quietly. No witnesses. But his evidence is on a dead man's switch. If he doesn't check in every 12 hours, it automatically sends to law enforcement. So we're trapped. Unless we give him what he wants, Ife spoke up, or unless we make a deal of our own. Both men looked at her. She stepped forward, mind clearly working through something. The FBI wants Choi too, yes? He is a criminal, a bad man. What if we give them both? Dae-min's information for immunity and evidence against Choi. The FBI doesn't make deals with people like me, Dae-min said. They do if you have something big enough. Choi has been operating longer, has more connections, is more dangerous. You are small compared to him. Offer them the bigger fish. Kyung-sam looked thoughtful. It could work. If we approach it right, with the right lawyer, the right evidence package. You'd have to give up everything, boss. The whole operation. But you'd stay free. And I could actually leave. Start over clean. Dae-min looked at Ife. Is that what you want? Me out of this life completely? I want you alive and free. I want Sung-ho to have his father. Whatever that takes. Yes, I want that. Over the next 48 hours, Dae-min's lawyers worked overtime. They approached the FBI with a deal that was hard to refuse. Dae-min would provide complete testimony about Choi's operations, his connections, his crimes going back 15 years. He'd turn over every piece of evidence he had. In exchange, immunity for Dae-min, witness protection if needed, and a clean slate. The FBI agent reviewing the deal was skeptical. Why should we trust you? Because I'm tired, Dae-min said honestly. Tired of looking over my shoulder. Tired of putting my family in danger. Tired of being someone I'm not proud of. You get Choi. I get my life back. Everyone wins. Except Choi. Exactly. The agent studied him, then the evidence, then nodded slowly. We'll agree, but you testify fully. No holding back. And you're out of the business permanently. Any hint that you're back in, and the deal is void. Done. That night, Dae-min came home to the safe house to find Ive and Sung-ho watching a movie, curled up together on the couch. They looked up when he entered, and he saw hope and fear mixed in both their faces. It's done. I made the deal. I'm out. Ive's eyes filled with tears. Truly. Truly. I testify against Choi next week. Then we're free. We can go anywhere. Be anyone. Start completely over. Sung-ho jumped up. Does that mean no more danger? No more bad people? No more danger. Just us, being a normal family. The boy whooped and hugged his father tight. Over his head, Dae-min's eyes met Ive's, and he saw everything he needed in her face. Love, pride, relief, hope. Where will we go? She asked. Wherever you want. Pick a place, any place, and we'll go there. New city, new names if you want. New everything. I want somewhere with trees, with quiet, where Sung-ho can play outside without fear, and we can just be together. Then that's what we'll find. That night, after Sung-ho went to bed, Dae-min and Ive sat on the porch of the safe house, holding hands, looking at the stars. Are you scared? She asked. Terrified. I've been Dae-min Park, crime boss, for 15 years. I don't know how to be anyone else. You know how to be a father, a good man, that is enough. And a partner? A husband, maybe? She turned to look at him, eyes wide. What are you saying? Dae-min slipped off the porch chair and knelt in front of her, pulling a simple ring from his pocket. Not the flashy diamond he would have bought a month ago, but a simple silver band with a small blue stone. I'm saying I love you. I'm saying you saved my son and saved me. I'm saying I want to spend the rest of my life showing you how much you mean to me. Will you marry me? Tears streamed down her face. You are sure? You want to marry a refugee with nothing? A woman who is the strongest, bravest, most beautiful person I've ever known. Yes, I'm sure. I've never been more sure of anything. Then yes, I will marry you. He slipped the ring on her finger and kissed her, deep and sweet and full of promise. When they broke apart, both were crying and laughing at the same time. When? She asked. After we deal with Choi. After we're truly free. Then we'll do it right, with Sung-ho standing beside us, starting our new life together. They went inside and made love with new urgency, claiming each other completely, promising with their bodies what their words couldn't fully express. This was forever. This was real. This was worth fighting for. But in the back of Dae-min's mind, a small voice whispered warnings. Choi wouldn't go down easily. The FBI deal could fall apart. Their new life could be snatched away before it really began. He pushed the thoughts aside and held Ive tighter, choosing to believe in happy endings for just this one night. Tomorrow would bring its own problems. Tonight, he had everything he needed, right here in his arms. The FBI moved quickly once they had Dae-min's testimony. Within 3 days, they had enough to arrest Choi. But when they raided his properties, Choi was gone. Vanished like smoke. And he'd taken one more shot before disappearing. He'd sent a message to every news outlet in the city. Photos of Dae-min at known criminal meetings. Documents with his signature. Proof of his activities. The story exploded across Boston. Local crime boss turned informant to save his own skin. Your immunity deal protects you legally, the FBI agent explained, but not socially. People know now. Your neighbors, your son's school, everyone. Dae-min stood in the safe house living room, watching the news coverage, feeling his new life crumble before it started. His phone rang constantly. Death threats. Angry former associates calling him a traitor. Media wanting interviews. I've held Sung-ho close as the boy cried. Everyone at school saw the news. They're saying terrible things about Dad. Saying he's a criminal. A bad man. Your father did what he had to do to keep us safe, I've said firmly. That makes him brave, not bad. But the damage was done. They couldn't stay in Boston. Couldn't stay anywhere near here. The FBI recommended witness protection, new identities, complete erasure of their old lives. We'd have to split up, the agent said. Different cities, different names. It's the only way to guarantee safety. No, Dae-min said immediately. We stay together. Mr. Park, Choi is still out there. He's angry and humiliated. He'll come after you, and anyone connected to you. Your son, your fiancé. They're targets now. I said no. We stay together, or we don't go. The agent sighed. Then you're on your own. We can't protect you if you won't follow protocol. After he left, Ife took charge. We leave tonight. Pack only what we need, and we go somewhere new. Start over on our own terms. Where? Does it matter? Anywhere but here. We drive until we find somewhere that feels right. They packed in an hour. Clothes, documents, cash. Dae-min closed accounts, transferred money to places Choi couldn't trace. Kyung-sam arrived with fake IDs, not FBI quality, but good enough. The organization is dissolving, Kyung-sam reported. Half the men went to other crews, the other half just disappeared. It's over, boss. Your empire is done. Good. It should never have existed anyway. Dae-min clasped his friend's shoulder. Thank you. For everything. Where will you go? Better if you don't know. That way when Choi asks, you can honestly say you have no idea. They left at midnight in an ordinary car with ordinary plates. Dae-min drove while Sung-ho slept in the back, and Ifa navigated. They headed west. No specific destination. Just away. We'll need new names, Ifa said quietly. New stories about who we are. What should we be? Simple. Normal. A family who wants to be left alone. They drove through the night and into the morning, stopping only for gas and food. By evening, they'd crossed 3 states. Sung-ho woke up confused, asking where they were. Somewhere new, Dae-min said. An adventure. Are we running away? We're running towards something better. But better proved hard to find. Every motel felt exposed. Every stranger looked like a threat. Dae-min slept with a gun under his pillow and jumped at every sound. Ife remained calm on the surface, but he saw the tension in her shoulders, the way her eyes constantly scanned their surroundings. After 2 weeks of driving, they ended up in a small town in Colorado. Mountains surrounded them, pine trees everywhere, the air clean and cold. It felt isolated enough to be safe, populated enough to blend in. Here? Ife asked. Dae-min looked around, saw a town where nobody would know them, where Sung-ho could start fresh. Here. They rented a small house on the edge of town, furnished simply, used the fake names on the lease, introduced themselves to neighbors as a family relocating for work. Nobody asked many questions. Sung-ho enrolled in school as David Park, close enough to his real name not to confuse him. Ife became Zara, and Dae-min became Daniel. New people, new lives. But the past wasn't done with them. One morning, Dae-min went to the local hardware store for supplies. When he came back, the house was empty. Ife's phone sat on the kitchen counter. Sung-ho's backpack lay in the hallway. Signs of a struggle, a knocked-over chair, a broken vase, and a note on the table. I found you. Dae-min's blood turned to ice. He called Kyung-sam immediately. He has them. Choi has Ife and Sung-ho. How did he find you? I don't know, and I don't care. I need to get them back. Boss, wait. If you go charging in, he'll kill them. We need a plan. Then make one fast, because I'm going after my family whether I have help or not. Over the next hour, Kyung-sam worked his contacts. Choi hadn't hidden, he'd set a trap. He wanted Dae-min to find him, wanted the confrontation. He'd taken Ife and Sung-ho to an abandoned factory outside Detroit, about 6 hours away. He's got maybe 10 men with him, Kyung-sam reported, and he's making demands. You come alone, unarmed, and he'll trade them for you. You don't show in 24 hours, he starts hurting them. Dae-min felt rage unlike anything he'd ever known. Get everyone still loyal, every man who ever owed me a favor. We're going in heavy. That's not what I don't care what he wants. He took my family. I'm taking them back, and then I'm ending this forever. Kyung-sam arrived in Colorado with 8 men, all heavily armed. They drove through the night, planning the assault. It wasn't elegant or clever. It was just overwhelming force. We hit them from 3 sides at once, Dae-min explained. Kyung-sam takes the east entrance. I take the west. The rest spread out covering exits. We move fast, hit hard, get them out. What about hostages? One man asked. Choi might use them as shields. Then we shoot through him if we have to. Nothing stops us from getting them back. Nothing. They arrived at the factory as the sun set, turning the sky blood red. The building was massive, old, full of shadows and hiding places. Perfect for an ambush. Dae-min checked his gun one final time, thought about Ife's face, Sung-ho's laugh, everything he had to lose. Then he gave the signal. They moved in fast, and chaos erupted. Gunfire echoed through the factory, men shouting, glass breaking. Dae-min fought like a man possessed, taking down anyone who got in his way. He'd spent years building a reputation as someone you didn't cross. Tonight, he reminded everyone why. He found them on the 2nd floor, tied to chairs in an old office. Sung-ho had a bruise on his face, and rage exploded through Dae-min. But it was Ife who worried him more. She was too quiet, too still, staring at nothing. Get them out, he ordered his men. Now! But Choi appeared in the doorway, gun raised. Not yet. We're not done talking. Dae-min aimed his own weapon. There's nothing to say. You lose. Do I? Because from where I stand, I've got your son, your woman, and you're surrounded. By 3 men versus my 8. Do the math. Choi smiled, and it was the smile of a man with nothing left to lose. You took everything from me. My reputation, my business, my freedom. So I'll take what you love most. He swung his gun towards Sung-ho, and time seemed to slow. Dae-min fired without thinking, without aiming, purely on instinct. The bullet caught Choi in the shoulder, spinning him. His own shot went wild, hitting the ceiling. Then everything happened at once. Kyung-sam burst in with more men. Choi's remaining soldiers surrendered, or ran. And Dae-min was cutting Sung-ho and Ife free, checking them for injuries, holding them like he'd never let go. I'm sorry, he kept saying. I'm so sorry. I should have protected you better. You came, Ife whispered, her voice hoarse. I knew you would come. Sung-ho clung to his father, crying. He said terrible things. Said he was going to hurt Ife, hurt me, make you watch. He'll never hurt anyone again. Police sirens wailed in the distance. The FBI had been monitoring Choi's communications, knew about the factory. They'd arrive any minute to clean up the mess. Kyung-sam pulled Dae-min aside. Boss, you need to go. Now. Before the feds get here and start asking questions. What about Choi? He's wounded but alive. He'll go to prison for the rest of his life. You have your family back. That's what matters. Now go. Dae-min gathered Ife and Sung-ho, and they slipped out through a back exit, climbing into an old car Kyung-sam had waiting. As they drove away, Dae-min saw flashing lights converging on the factory. Is it really over? Sung-ho asked from the back seat. Yes, Choi's done. He can't hurt us anymore. They drove in silence for a while, processing everything. Then Ife spoke, her voice stronger now. We cannot go back to Colorado. He found us once. Others might too. I know. We keep moving. Find somewhere even more remote. For how long? How long do we run? Until we find somewhere that feels like home. Until we find peace. Ife reached over and took his hand. Home is not a place. Home is us, together. Wherever we are, that is home. Dae-min squeezed her hand, feeling the truth of her words. They'd lost Boston, lost Colorado, lost everything they'd tried to build. But they still had each other, and that was enough. They drove through the night again, heading south this time. The fake IDs would need replacing. They'd need new names again, a new story. But they were alive, together, free. As dawn broke over the highway, painting everything gold and pink, Ife leaned her head on Dae-min's shoulder. Tell me about the future. What do you want to know? Everything. Tell me about the house we will have, the life we will build. Paint me a picture of our forever. So he did. He described a small farmhouse with land around it. Chickens, maybe. A big garden where Ife could grow vegetables like she'd mentioned wanting. A school nearby where Sung-ho could be normal, play sports, make friends. A life so ordinary it would be extraordinary after everything they'd survived. And us? She asked quietly. Tell me about us. We'll get married in that garden. Just us and Sung-ho, and maybe a justice of the peace. Nothing fancy, just real. And every morning, I'll wake up next to you and thank whatever fate brought us together. That sounds perfect. It will be. I promise. No more running, no more fear. Just us, building something beautiful from all this mess. In the back seat, Sung-ho had fallen asleep, exhausted and safe. Eve closed her eyes too, trusting Dae-min to drive them toward that promised future. And for the first time in what felt like forever, Dae-min believed it was possible. They'd survived the worst. Maybe now they'd finally earned the best. They ended up in a small town in rural Vermont, population 3,000, where the biggest excitement was Friday night football games and the annual Harvest Festival. It was perfect. The farmhouse needed work, but that was good too. Gave them something to focus on, something to build together. Dae-min, who'd never held a hammer in his life, learned to fix broken porches and leaky roofs. Ife planted gardens, teaching Sung-ho about vegetables and patience. They became the family at the edge of town, friendly but private, and nobody pushed for more information than they wanted to share. Sung-ho enrolled in school as Matthew Davis, and within a month, he'd made friends, joined the soccer team, became just another kid. The shadows left his eyes. The fear disappeared. He laughed easily again, like he'd done when I first started training him back in Boston. He's healing, Ife said one night, watching him play in the yard with the neighbor's dog. We all are, Dae-min replied. Life settled into rhythms they'd never experienced. Grocery shopping on Saturdays, church on Sundays because Ife wanted to, weekly dinners with neighbors who thought they were normal. It was boring and beautiful, and everything Dae-min had never known he wanted. But 3 months in, complications arose from an unexpected source. Dae-min's mother, Sun-hee, called. She'd tracked him down through old contacts, worried sick because her son had vanished, and she'd heard rumors about FBI deals in exile. You just disappeared, she said in Korean, her voice sharp with hurt and relief. I thought you were dead. I'm sorry, Mother. I couldn't risk contact. It wasn't safe. And now? Is it safe now? Safer. Choi's in prison. My old life is done. We're starting over. We? You have a woman? Her tone changed, became suspicious. Who is she? Korean? Dae-min hesitated. She's from Rwanda. She's been taking care of Sung-ho and we're engaged. Silence on the line, long and cold. Then, you're marrying a foreigner? An African woman? Dae-min, what are you thinking? I'm thinking I love her. That she saved my son and saved me. That she's the best thing that ever happened to our family. Your family is Korean. Your ancestors would be ashamed. My ancestors aren't raising Sung-ho. If is. And she's doing a better job than anyone else ever did, including Hye-jin. That woman was a mistake from the start. I told you not to marry her. And now I'm telling you I'm marrying If. You can accept it or not, but it's happening either way. More silence. Then, I want to meet her, and my grandson. I'm coming to visit. Dae-min's stomach dropped. Mother, give me the address. I'll be there next week. She hung up before he could argue, and Dae-min stood holding the phone, dreading the conversation he now had to have with If. He found her in the garden, harvesting tomatoes. She looked up when he approached, read his face immediately. What's wrong? My mother knows where we are. She's coming to visit. If's hand stilled. When? Next week. And If, she's traditional. Very traditional. She's not going to be happy about us. Because I am African. Because you're not Korean. Because you were our housekeeper. Because in her mind, there's a certain way things should be, and we don't fit that. If set down the basket of tomatoes and came to him, taking his hands. Are you worried she will change your mind? What? No. Never. Then what are you worried about? That she'll hurt you. Say things that cut. My mother has never been kind to people she thinks are beneath her. Dae-min. If's voice was firm. I survived genocide. I survived coming to a new country with nothing. I survived your ex-wife, men with guns, and being kidnapped by a crime lord. Do you really think one traditional Korean mother will break me? Despite everything, he smiled. When you put it that way. I will win her over, or I will not. Either way, you are not getting rid of me that easily. She kissed him, and Dae-min pulled her close, breathing in the scent of tomato plants and sunshine that clung to her skin, marveling again at his luck in finding this woman. Sun-hee arrived exactly 1 week later in a hired car, dressed expensively despite the rural setting, her silver hair perfectly styled. She looked at the farmhouse with poorly concealed disdain, and at If with open suspicion. You are the African woman my son is involved with. I am If. It is nice to meet you, Mrs. Park. Sun-hee ignored the offered handshake, turning to Sung-ho instead. She spoke to him in Korean, rapid and emotional, hugging him tight. Sung-ho responded in English, rusty in his Korean after months of not using it. Grandma, I missed you. Why didn't your father call me? I was so worried. It wasn't safe. Bad people were after us, but I've protected me. She's teaching me to be strong. Sun-hee looked at Ife again, reassessing. You protect my grandson? With my life, Ife said simply. Something shifted in Sun-hee's face, too quick to read. She turned back to Dae-min. We need to talk. Alone. In the living room, with the door closed, Sun-hee didn't hold back. Have you lost your mind? This woman is a servant, a foreigner. What are people going to say? I don't care what people say. We're not in Boston anymore. We're not part of that world. You're still my son, still Korean. This goes against everything our family stands for. Our family stands for honor and respect. It embodies both of those things better than anyone I've ever known. She's using you. Can't you see that? She saw a rich man, an opportunity, and she took it. She saw a sad little boy and helped him. Everything else came after. And she's not using me. If anything, I'm the one who would be lost without her. Soon he paced, agitated. What about Sung-ho? Growing up with a stepmother who doesn't share his culture, who doesn't understand his heritage? She's teaching him about strength, courage, and love. That's more important than any culture. You would erase his Korean identity for this woman? I would give him a complete identity. Korean from me, African from her, and American from where we live. He'll be richer for it, not poorer. They argued for an hour, going in circles. Finally, Sun-hee threw up her hands. Fine. If you won't listen to reason, at least, let me spend time with them. Let me see for myself what kind of person she is. Over the next 3 days, Sun-hee watched everything. She watched Ive cook breakfast, keeping Korean dishes in rotation alongside African and American ones. She watched Ive help Sung-ho with homework, patient and encouraging. She watched them train together in the yard, Sung-ho laughing as Ive taught him new techniques. On the third evening, Sun-hee found Ive alone in the kitchen making dinner. You cook Korean food, she said. Not quite a question. Dae-min taught me some recipes, and I looked up others online. I want Sung-ho to know his heritage, even if I am not part of that heritage myself. Why? Why would you care about that? Ive set down her knife, turning to face Sun-hee directly. Because I love your grandson, as if he were my own. Because I know what it is like to lose your culture, your people, everything that makes you who you are. I would never take that from him. I only want to add to it, not replace it. You lost your culture? The violence in my country destroyed my village, my family. When I came to America, I had nothing left of my past, except memories. Food, language, traditions, all gone. I do not want that emptiness for Sung-ho. He should know where he comes from, even as he builds where he is going. Sun-hee was quiet for a long moment. My son says you saved them, that you stood between Sung-ho and men with guns. Any mother would do the same. You are not his mother. In my heart, I am. Maybe not in blood, but in every way that matters. I would die for that boy. I would kill for him. Whatever he needs, I will provide. Something in Sun-hee's face cracked. She sat down heavily at the kitchen table. Hee-jin never wanted children. Did you know that? She got pregnant by accident, saw Sung-ho as a burden from the day he was born. She left him crying for hours, complained constantly, treated him like an inconvenience. I tried to help, but I live in Korea. I couldn't be there all the time. I did not know that. When Dae-min called to say she'd left, I was relieved. Hoped maybe now that boy would get the love he deserved. But then I worried he'd get no mother at all, just a father too busy with business. Sun-hee looked up, eyes bright with tears. Then you came, and from what I see, you love him more than his real mother ever did. I do, I've said simply. He is my heart. Sun-hee wiped her eyes. I was wrong. About you. About this. You are not what I expected. I know I am not what you wanted for your son. But I promise you, I will love him well. I will honor him, support him, stand beside him always. and I will raise Sung-ho to be proud of his Korean heritage, while being proud of everything else that makes him special. That's all a mother can ask. Soon he stood, and to Ife's surprise, embraced her. Welcome to the family. Truly. When Dae-min came home from town with groceries, he found his mother and fiancé cooking together, Sun-hee teaching. Ife the proper way to make kimchi while Sung-ho did homework at the table. The scene was so unexpected, so perfect, he just stood in the doorway staring. Are you going to help or just stand there? Ifo called, smiling. I don't understand what's happening. Sun-hee snorted. What's happening is your future wife is more stubborn than I am, and she loves my grandson. That's enough for me. That night, after Sun-hee went to bed in the guest room, Dae-min and Ife sat on the porch swing, watching fireflies dance in the darkness. You won her over, he said, still amazed. She won herself over. I just showed her the truth, which is that love is bigger than culture or tradition or pride. That family is not about blood or background. It is about showing up, about caring, about being there when it matters. Dae-min pulled her close. Have I told you lately that you're amazing? Not today, no. Then let me fix that. He kissed her softly. You're amazing, brilliant, strong, brave, and somehow, impossibly, you agreed to marry me. Not somehow. I agreed because you are all those things too. Because you chose your son over everything else. Because you left behind power and money to be a good father. That is the man I want to spend my life with. They sat in comfortable silence, swinging gently, holding hands. After a while, Ife spoke again. There is something I need to tell you. His heart jumped. What? I'm pregnant. Dae-min's mind went blank. What? Pregnant. With a baby. Our baby. She placed his hand on her still flat stomach. About 8 weeks now. I found out last week but was waiting for the right time to tell you. We're having a baby, he repeated, the words not quite feeling real. Yes, a tiny person who will be half Korean, half African, and completely ours. Dae-min felt tears on his cheeks, didn't try to stop them. I thought I had everything already. You, Sung-ho, this life. But this is more than I ever dreamed. Are you happy? Happy doesn't begin to cover it. He pulled her into his lap, holding her carefully like she might break, kissing her face, her neck, her lips. You've given me everything. A son who smiles again, a reason to be better. And now another child. How did I get this lucky? We got this lucky. Together. She kissed him back, deep and sweet. So maybe it is time we make it official. Get married before I am too big to fit in a wedding dress. Tomorrow, if you want. Give me a month. Let me plan something small but beautiful. Let Sun-hee help. It will make her happy. Let us do this right. A month then. But Ife? Yes. I love you. More than I thought I could ever love anyone. You and Sung-ho and this baby we're making. You three are my whole world. And you are ours. Forever, Dae-min. You are ours. Forever. They went inside hand in hand, ready to tell Sung-ho he was going to be a big brother. Ready to tell Sun-hee she was getting another grandchild. Ready to celebrate this unexpected blessing that somehow felt inevitable. Later, in bed with Ife curled against him, Dae-min thought about the journey that led them here. The violence, the fear, the running. All of it worth it for this moment, this peace, this love. He'd lost an empire but gained a family, and he would choose this, would choose them, every single time. 3 weeks before the wedding, Dae-min got a call from Kyung-sam that shattered their peace. "Boss, Choi escaped." Dae-min's blood went cold. "What?" "Prison transfer went wrong. 3 guards dead. Choi gone. FBI thinks he had help from inside, maybe from old connections. They're looking for him now, but he's in the wind." "How long ago?" 12 hours. Enough time to get anywhere. "Boss, you need to move again. Now." Dae-min looked through the window at Ive working in her garden. Sun-hee beside her, learning about tomato plants. Sung-ho playing with the neighbor's dog. Peace. Safety. Home. No. No more running. He'll come for you. You know he will. He's got nothing left to lose, and everything to prove. Then let him come. I'm done running from my past. This is my home, my family. If he wants a fight, he'll get one. Boss, get the team together. Anyone still willing to back me up. We fortify this place, set up proper security, and wait. When he comes, we end this permanently. After hanging up, Dae-min had the hardest conversation of his life. He gathered Ive, Sun-hee, and Sung-ho in the living room and explained everything. Sung-ho's face went pale. He's coming here? To hurt us? He's going to try, but we're not going to let him. Maybe we should leave, Sun-hee said, worried. Go somewhere else. Somewhere he won't find us. He found us in Colorado. He'll find us anywhere. Dae-min looked at each of them. I'm done letting this man dictate our lives. We've built something good here. I want to fight for it. Ive spoke quietly. What do you need from us? Sung-ho and Mother, I need you to go somewhere safe. There's a cabin 2 hours north, remote, secure. You'll stay there until this is over. No, Sung-ho said immediately. I'm not leaving you and Ive. This isn't up for debate. You said family sticks together, that we face things as a team. I'm not running away while you fight. Sung-ho, I'm scared, Dad. I'm terrified. But I'm more scared of losing you and Ive. Last time Choi took us, you came to save us. This time, we should fight together. Dae-min looked at his son, seeing not the broken 8-year-old from Boston, but a strong, brave young man. Sung-ho, I need to know you're safe. I can't fight if I'm worried about you. Then teach me to help. If has been training me for a year now, I'm not helpless. Let me do something. Ive placed a hand on Dae-min's arm. He has a point. Running and hiding did not save us before. Maybe standing and fighting together is the answer. You're pregnant. I am pregnant, not broken. I can still shoot, still fight, still protect what is mine. Sun-hee surprised everyone by speaking up. I may be old, but I know how to load a gun. My husband taught me years ago. Use me too. Dae-min looked at his family, this unlikely group of fighters, and felt something shift in his chest. Pride, determination, and underneath it all, fierce love. Okay, then we do this together, but we do it smart. Over the next 2 days, Kyung-sam arrived with 6 trusted men, all loyal to Dae-min even after everything. They transformed the farmhouse into a fortress. Security cameras everywhere, reinforced doors and windows, weapons hidden throughout the house. They set up a safe room in the basement, stocked with supplies in case of siege. Dae-min trained everyone, showed Sung-ho the basic security system, how to lock down the house with one button, taught Sun-hee which weapons were easiest to handle, reviewed defensive positions with Ive, who remembered her own combat training, and added suggestions he hadn't considered. The neighbors noticed the activity, asked questions. Dae-min told them family visiting, home improvements, whatever would satisfy their curiosity without alarming them. Will they get caught in the crossfire? Ive asked one night. I've warned them to stay inside if anything happens. Called in an anonymous tip to local police about possible gang activity in the area. They'll respond fast if there's trouble. You've thought of everything. I'm trying to. I can't lose any of you. Not to Choi, not to anyone. Ive took his face in her hands. You won't. We are stronger than he knows. He thinks he is attacking a crime boss hiding in the country. Instead, he is attacking a father protecting his family. Those are two very different things. The attack came on a Tuesday morning, just after sunrise. Min was making coffee when the first camera alert went off. 4 vehicles approaching on the rural road, moving fast. He's here, Min called out. Everyone to positions. Sun Hee took Sung Ho to the reinforced bedroom upstairs, weapons ready. Kyung Sam and his men spread throughout the house, covering entry points. Ive took position in the second-floor hallway, with a clear view of the front approach. Min stayed mobile, ready to respond, wherever needed most. The vehicles stopped at the property line. Men poured out, maybe 15 total, all armed. And leading them, looking thin and angry from his time in prison, was Director Choi. Daemin Park, he shouted toward the house. You took everything from me. Now I take everything from you. Daemin opened a window, keeping behind cover. This doesn't have to happen. Walk away. Disappear. Start over somewhere else like I did. Start over? Choi laughed bitterly. You testified against me. Made me a snitch target in prison. I had to fight every day just to survive. And you want me to walk away? I want you to stop before more people die. The only people dying today are you and everyone you love. Choi raised his hand, and his men opened fire. Bullets shattered windows, tore through walls. The battle had begun. Daemin's men returned fire with disciplined precision. 2 of Choi's soldiers went down immediately. The others scattered, taking cover behind vehicles and trees, trying to find angles of attack. Upstairs, Ive waited patiently. When one of Choi's men tried to flank around to the back, she dropped him with a single shot. Then another who tried the same. Her training, her survival instincts, all kicked in. She was protecting her home, her family, and nothing would stop her. In the bedroom, Sung Ho heard the gunfire and fighting, his hands shaking. Sun Hee held him close. Your father will protect us, she whispered. And we will protect each other. I'm scared, Grandma. Being scared means you are smart. But we don't let fear win. Your father taught me that when he was young, when we had nothing and were building a new life in America. We survived then. We will survive now. Below, the fight intensified. Choi's men tried to rush the house, and Kyung Sam met them with withering fire. Bodies fell. Blood stained the yard Ive had so carefully tended. But Choi was prepared too. He sent men around to multiple sides at once, overwhelming the defenses. 2 broke through a back window, engaging in close combat with Daemin's men. 1 made it to the stairs. Ive saw him coming, stepped out into the hallway. Stop! The man raised his gun, but Ive was faster. She fired twice, center mass, and he dropped. Professional, clean, necessary. She felt no guilt, only determination. Outside, Choi saw his attack failing, his men falling. Rage consumed him. He grabbed a gasoline can from one of the vehicles, advancing on the house himself. If I can't have my life back, you don't get yours either. He splashed gasoline on the side of the house, pulling out a lighter. But before he could set it aflame, a shot rang out. Choi stumbled, looking down at the blood blooming on his chest. He turned, confused, and saw Daemin standing in the doorway. I told you to walk away. Choi fell to his knees, his lighter dropping from nerveless fingers. You were supposed to lose. I did lose. I lost my old life, my empire, everything I built. But I gained something better. Something you'll never understand. A family worth dying for. Choi collapsed face first into the dirt. Behind him, his remaining men were surrendering or fleeing. Sirens wailed in the distance. Local police, responding to the shooting, probably reinforced by FBI agents monitoring Choi's escape. The battle was over. Da-min rushed back inside, taking the stairs 3 at a time. "Ife! Sung-ho! Mother!" They emerged from their positions, shaken but alive. Sung-ho ran to his father, and Da-min scooped him up despite the boy being almost too big to carry. "It's over. It's really over." Ife came down the stairs, and Da-min saw she had blood on her shirt. His heart stopped. "Are you hurt?" "Not my blood. One of them got close. I handled it." He pulled her into his arms, careful of her stomach, holding his whole world. "You're incredible. Both of you. All of you. So brave." Sun-hee appeared, remarkably calm for someone who just survived a gun battle. "Is it truly finished now?" "Yes. Choi is dead. His men are scattered or captured. The FBI will clean up the rest." As if on cue, federal vehicles poured onto the property. Agents swarmed out, securing the scene, arresting Choi's surviving men. The agent in charge approached Da-min, surveying the damage. "Mr. Park, or should I say Mr. Davis, we need to talk about all this. Self-defense. He attacked us. Multiple witnesses, security footage, everything documented." The agent sighed. "Your immunity deal covered past crimes. But this is a war zone. This is a family protecting their home. Check the law. We had every right to defend ourselves." After hours of statements and investigations, the FBI finally cleared out. The local police took final reports and left. Slowly, the farmhouse returned to quiet, though the broken windows and bullet holes remained as reminders. That night, with temporary boards over the windows and Sung-ho finally asleep, Da-min and Ife sat in their bedroom, processing everything. "We could have died today," Ife said quietly. "All of us. The baby, too. But we didn't. We survived. We won. Is it winning when you have to kill to keep what's yours?" Da-min pulled her close. "I don't know. But I know I'd do it again. Every single time. You, Sung-ho, our baby. This life we've built, it's worth fighting for. Worth killing for, if necessary. I killed a man today. Shot him without hesitation. To protect our family. Does that make it right? It makes it necessary. And sometimes, that's all we get." He kissed her forehead. "You're the strongest person I know. You survived genocide, crossing an ocean, starting over with nothing. You built yourself into someone who can stand in front of danger and not blink. I'm in awe of you." She was quiet for a long moment, then placed his hand on her stomach. "This baby, our baby, will grow up knowing strength comes from protecting what matters, from standing your ground when others would run, from loving fiercely even when it is dangerous. That's a good legacy. It is our legacy, yours and mine together." They held each other as the night deepened, two warriors finally at peace, ready to heal and rebuild once more, knowing this time, finally, the fight was truly over. The wedding was supposed to be small and simple, but somehow it grew. Neighbors insisted on helping, wanting to be part of something joyful after the violence that had shaken their quiet town. Local businesses donated food, flowers, decorations. The whole community rallied around the family that had fought so hard to stay together. 6 weeks after the battle, with the farmhouse repaired and security quietly maintained, they gathered in Ife's garden on a perfect September afternoon. The leaves were just starting to turn, painting the mountains in gold and crimson. Rows of vegetables stood proud, a testament to Ife's patience and nurturing. Simple wooden chairs held about 50 people, mostly neighbors, but also Kyung-sam and a few others from Dae-min's past who'd traveled to witness his new beginning. Sung-ho stood beside his father as best man, wearing a suit that made him look almost grown up. He was 10 now, taller, stronger, carrying himself with quiet confidence. Sun-hee sat in the front row, dabbing her eyes with a handkerchief before the ceremony even started. Then Ife appeared at the garden gate, and Dae-min forgot to breathe. She wore a simple white dress that flowed around her, accommodating the small swell of her stomach. Her hair was natural, adorned with small flowers Sung-ho had helped pick that morning. She carried wildflowers from the property, nothing expensive or elaborate. She was beautiful in a way that made Dae-min's chest ache. She walked toward him alone, having no father to give her away, no family from her old life to witness this new one. But she walked with her head high, smiling, and Dae-min thought he'd never seen anyone more magnificent. When she reached him, he took her hands, and the officiant began. "We're gathered here to witness the union of Daniel and Zara Davis." "Actually," Dae-min interrupted, "we'd like to use our real names, Dae-min Park and Ife Uwera. We're done hiding." The officiant paused, surprised, then smiled. "Then let's begin again. We're gathered to witness the union of Dae-min Park and Ife Uwera, two people who found each other against impossible odds and built something beautiful from the rubble of their pasts." Dae-min had written his vows, revised them a dozen times, memorized them perfectly. But standing there looking at Ife, he forgot every word. "I was lost," he said finally, speaking from his heart. "I had money, power, respect, but I was completely lost. Then you walked into my house with your strength and your courage, and you showed me what I was missing. Love. Real love. The kind that makes you want to be better. Do better. Be worthy of the gift you've been given. You saved my son. You saved me. And now we're building a family that's stronger than anything I've ever created. Oof, I promise to spend the rest of my life showing you that choosing me was the right decision. I promise to protect you, support you, stand beside you always. I promise to be the man you see when you look at me with those eyes that see everything. I love you completely, and I can't wait to spend forever proving it." Ivy's tears flowed freely as she spoke her own vows. "I came to America with nothing. No family, no home, just a small suitcase and big fear. I thought I would always be alone, that everyone I loved would be taken from me. Then I met a sad little boy who needed someone to see him, and a man who needed someone to believe in him. You both gave me something I thought I'd lost forever. A family. Home. A reason to stop running and start living. Dae-min, you are brave and foolish and wonderful. You gave up everything for the people you love, and that is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. I promise to stand with you in all things, to love you in your strength and your weakness, to build a life with you that honors where we came from while embracing where we are going. You are my home, and I am yours forever." When the officiant pronounced them married, Dae-min kissed his wife like she was air, and he was drowning. The garden erupted in applause and cheers. Sung-ho hugged them both, crying and laughing at the same time. "I have a mom now," he said. "A real mom who chose us." "I have a son," Ife replied, holding him tight. "A real son who chose me back." The celebration lasted into the evening, Food and music and dancing. Neighbors teaching Daemin country line dancing, while Ife laughed at his awkwardness. Sun-hee told stories about Daemin as a difficult teenager, embarrassing him in front of his new wife. Kyung-sam gave a toast about loyalty and second chances that had half the crowd in tears. As the sun set, painting everything in shades of orange and pink, Daemin pulled Ife away from the party, leading her to a quiet corner of the garden. "Happy?" he asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind, his hands resting on her stomach where their daughter grew. "Happier than I ever imagined possible." "You?" "Same. I keep waiting for something to go wrong, for someone to take this away. Nothing will. We fought too hard for this, survived too much. This is ours, Daemin. Our forever." Inside, Sung-ho was showing the neighbors the training equipment in the garage, demonstrating the techniques Ife had taught him. He was proud, confident, loved. Everything a child should be. "Look at him," Ife murmured. "Remember when he was so quiet, so sad? Now he shines. You did that. We did that. Together." The party wound down slowly. Neighbors left with well wishes and promises to help with the baby when she arrived. Sun-hee retired to the guest room, smiling and content. Kyung-sam pulled Daemin aside before leaving. "You did good, boss. Built something real. I'm proud of you. Thank you. For everything. For standing with me even when I didn't deserve it. You always deserved it. You just had to figure that out yourself." Kyung-sam clasped his shoulder. "Be happy. You earned it." Finally, it was just the three of them. Sung-ho, exhausted from excitement, fell asleep on the couch. Daemin carried him to bed, tucking him in like he'd done 1,000 times. "Love you, Dad," Sung-ho mumbled, half asleep. "Love you, Mom." He called Ife Mom now without hesitation, and every time it made her heart swell. "We love you too, little warrior. Sleep well." In their bedroom, Daemin and Ife finally had a moment alone. He unzipped her dress slowly, reverently, like unwrapping something precious. She helped him with his tie and shirt, her hands familiar on his skin. They made love slowly, carefully, mindful of the life growing between them. It was different than the desperate passion of their early days, when danger and uncertainty made every touch feel urgent. This was deeper, richer, the joining of two people who knew they had all the time in the world. Afterward, Ife traced the old scars on Daemin's chest, remnants of his violent past. He traced the scar on her shoulder from her own trauma. Two broken people who'd found a way to heal together. "Tell me about her," Ife said softly. "Our daughter. What will she be like?" "She'll be fierce like you, strong and brave and unstoppable. She'll have your smile and your courage. And your stubbornness, your determination to protect the people you love. She'll have your mother's name, the one you told me about, the one who died protecting you." Ife's eyes filled with tears. "Amani? You would do that? She deserves to be remembered, and our daughter deserves a name that means something. Peace. That's what your mother's name meant, right?" "Yes. Peace. After so much violence, she wanted peace for her children. Then that's what we'll give our daughter. Peace, safety, love, a childhood without fear, a family that stays together." They talked into the night, planning their future. Maybe they'd expand the farm, get some animals, let Sung-ho pick what kind. Maybe they'd travel someday, show the children the world, teach them about their different heritages. Maybe they'd just stay here, living quietly, building memories in this place they'd fought so hard to keep. "I never thought I'd have this," Ifal whispered as sleep began to claim her. A husband who loves me, a son who calls me mom, a baby growing inside me, a home that feels safe. It seemed impossible. Nothing's impossible. We're living proof of that. What if I am not good enough? What if I fail them? You won't. You couldn't even if you tried. You're the strongest person I know, Ife. You've survived impossible things and come out still able to love, still able to hope. Our children are so lucky to have you. And you. They are lucky to have you too. Outside, Vermont's autumn night was peaceful. No sirens, no gunfire, no threats lurking in shadows. Just crickets singing and wind-rustling leaves, and the quiet contentment of a family finally at rest. Months passed in easy rhythms. Ife's belly grew round and proud. Sung-ho talked to his baby sister through Ife's skin, telling her about the farm, about school, about all the things they'd do together. Sun-hee knitted tiny clothes and fussed over Ife's health, becoming the mother figure Ife had lost so many years ago. Damon worked his legitimate business remotely, making enough to support them comfortably without any of the danger of his old life. He was just a businessman now, a father, a husband, normal and happy and more fulfilled than he'd ever been building his empire. When Ife went into labor on a cold February morning, Dae-min drove her too, the hospital with Sung-ho in the back seat, both of them anxious and excited. The labor was long but uncomplicated, and when Amani Park finally entered the world, screaming and perfect, Dae-min cried harder than he'd cried for anything in his life. "She's beautiful," he whispered, holding his tiny daughter for the first time. "She's so beautiful." "She looks like you," Ife said tiredly, smiling from the hospital bed. "She looks like both of us. Like Hope." Sung-ho held his baby sister with the careful reverence of a child who understands what a gift this is. "I'll protect her. Like you protected me, Ife. Like Dad protects all of us. I'll be the best big brother." "I know you will, little warrior. You already are." They brought Amani home to the farmhouse 3 days later. Sun-hee had everything ready, the nursery perfect, meals prepared, support organized. The neighbors brought gifts and congratulations, welcoming the newest member of their community. That first night, with Amani sleeping in her bassinet beside their bed, Ife and Dae-min lay together in the darkness, hands linked, listening to their daughter breathe. "We made it," Ife whispered. "Through everything, we made it here. Two forever. Two forever." The years unfolded gently after that. Sung-ho grew into a strong, kind teenager who never forgot the lessons Ife taught him about protecting others and standing up for what's right. Amani became a spirited little girl, with her mother's courage and her father's determination, already showing signs of being unstoppable. They celebrated birthdays and holidays, survived teenage drama and toddler tantrums, built traditions that mixed Korean, African, and American cultures into something uniquely theirs. Sun-hee divided her time between Korea and Vermont, always there for the important moments, the school plays and soccer games, and family dinners. On their 5th anniversary, Dae-min and Ife stood in the same garden where they'd married, watching Sung-ho teach Amani how to throw a punch, patient and encouraging, just like Ife had once been with him. "Any regrets?" Dae-min asked, pulling his wife close. "None." "You?" "Only that I didn't find you sooner, that we lost years we could have had together. We found each other exactly when we were meant to. Not before, when we weren't ready. Not after, when it might have been too late. Exactly when we needed each other most." She was right. Dae-min knew. Everything they'd survived, all the pain and fear and fighting, had led them to this perfect moment. Standing in their garden, watching their children play, building a life that was simple and beautiful, and theirs. "I love you," he said. Words that never got old, no matter how many times he said them. "I love you too. Forever, remember." "Forever," he agreed. And there in the Vermont countryside, surrounded by the family they'd built from the ashes of their pasts, Damon Park and Ife Uvera lived the happy ending they'd fought so hard to create. Not perfect, because life never is, but real and warm and full of love. Hope you enjoyed this incredible journey of love and survival. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our next amazing story. Drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from and which part of Dae Min and Ife's story touched your heart the most.